You gotta think about it. Think about it.
Hey guys, I hope everyone is doing well. I'm here with a bit of what day is it today? Saturday of the Easter weekend. Just a bit of an update vid. Like a few like busy weeks. So I slowed down a little bit on the YouTube production. So just wanted to say a few words as to kind of what I've been up to, and I guess what to expect on the channel. But before we get to that, a few people have been in touch, a few like lovely people, about the intros which I do on my videos. And I say intros, it's normally either Andy's Men's Club or the Samaritans, which I just kind of just put a bit of a glimpse, a bit of an advert up front. People have kind of said why. I mean, generally kind of checking in and stuff like that, which is really really awesome. And I've never kind of spoken about it. It's a retro channel, and I'm not intending to go into loads of details because it'd probably turn you right off, and then you'd head down the road, and I wouldn't really blame you. But that said, I guess it is. I know it's like important stuff. So yeah, I'm just going to open up a little bit, a couple of minutes on that piece. But yeah, like a lot of blokes, I guess I've kind of suffered with my own little demons, my mental kind of trials and tribulations over the years, and it was really one of the main reasons that I got into YouTube. I think I've just passed my 3-year anniversary of putting out videos. Obviously been consuming videos for far longer than that. It was driven by a bit of a passing of a good friend of mine, and I think my mental health had always been a bit extreme, like either real highs or real lows, and that kind of literally was very close to like tipping me in a pretty bad place. So kind of discussing with my wife about some other stuff I was doing. I really was doing like Instagram and staying mentally busy by going through my collection and doing a bit of an inventory and the rest of it. But she was like, why don't you consider doing some vids as well? So it's been, I wouldn't say escapism, because it's kind of a bit of escape from work and some other stuff, but it's a good kind of force that occupies my head, and has kind of also bridged some fantastic friendships, and meeting up with some people either in person, at events, or in retro shops, or literally through comments. But it has all been really really cool. So that's kind of helped. And then last year I had a few blips, quite big extremes, and I've always been a cynic, say how it is, and maybe it's me being a bit long in the tooth of that generation, about kind of getting help and etc, a bit kind of man up, deal with it yourself. And I remember early jobs, if anyone was off work with stress or anything, mention of stress, it's kind of like, geez, they're fucking weak, and they sort themselves out, the lazy sods. So I'm certainly not of that way of thinking. But things have changed quite a bit, across the generations. So I was in a pretty bad place. I wouldn't say like an ultimatum, but from chatting with the missus, I needed to do something about it, and I had a particularly bad weekend. I won't say any more than that. So Monday, Tuesday, it's like, okay, I need to do something. So I ended up having just a local guy, like 6 months of therapy, just on a Monday, 50 minutes or so. They pay by the hour, pay 50 minutes of banter. And I did kind of, when I was chatting with him about stuff, because I was, again, might be the bloke in me, I wouldn't have felt comfortable chatting with a lady, with a woman, purely, I think it was based on some of the things that I was thinking of being a bloke and all of that stuff. I just thought, look, if I can make the decision, then the decision I'll make will be to chat with a bloke about it. But so I picked up the phone to this guy. I had a bit of an initial chat, and I said, look, I'm the biggest fucking cynic you're ever going to come across in this space. And he was like, look, come in and have a chat. And I think, yeah, it must have been over about 20 sessions, 25 sessions we had over the course of 6 months. And again, probably like 5-6 sessions in, it was like a bit of a turning point. Even in the early ones, I was just like, you know, it felt a bit of fucking Woody Allen without the weird sexual shit. But by the time, I think originally I was set out to do about 10, but I got to about 8 or 9. I was just like, no, this is actually chatting stuff through, and it sounded really weird. I was chatting through more stuff with him around some of the things going on in my head, and some like ever decreasing circles of negativity and all that shit. And yeah, and it kind of was a bit, I'm in work mode. I'm very much, yeah, find the problem and we sort it and we need actions and all the rest of it. But there's no fucking fast forward button with this stuff. You've got to say endure. You've got to kind of go through, have the chat. Some sessions, you know, harder than others. A lovely guy. Got so much respect for him, and he's kind of a bit of a lifesaver, if I'm being honest. But yeah, equally, this, you know, they're not. You don't go in there for for tea and bloody biscuits. You can't, you kind of dive into stuff, and it's very, which I found a bit weird, but led by the individual, i.e. me, as opposed to them. They're kind of, facilitating, walking around, but by and large, you go in with the topics and you come out with what you need to do. And there's no like kind of magic bullet, and there's a series of things I need to kind of focus on. Yeah, I'm still having weird days where it's just like, what the fuck is going on? I should be feeling happy, and stuff, other things are going really well, so why do I feel like this? But yeah, chemicals. I'm not a doctor. Fucking chemicals, put it to that. So, and on the last session I was chatting with him, and he was saying, look, you should not spread the word, but everyone should do their bit really around kind of awareness, and talking about it. So during the sessions, I've got some amazing people at work, which I need to be honest, I've deemed to be more friends than colleagues. I've known for bloody years and years, and across different like companies and stuff. So I opened up with a few of them, like face to face, and they were freaking awesome. And then I'm saying to this guy that I run a very teeny tiny like YouTube channel, and I do a little thing up front, and he was just like, why don't you? There's no harm in opening up a little bit more than that. So that's exactly what this is. Apologies, it's gone on for longer than 2 minutes talking about this piece. So I guess the message is from me anyway, and each to their bloody own. And I still carried a bit of that kind of carried that cynic status for what 45 plus years, showing my age. But yeah, I kind of now I do see the value in it personally at the moment. I've got a lot to do, but I feel like it was certainly worth doing. So if you are in a bit of a predicament and you've explored other stuff, for me it was like years and years, for about 15-20 years, of varying degrees of good and bad. But yeah, if you are in a bit of a predicament, don't fucking keep it. Yeah, just keep yourself. Get help. Chat with someone. And if it doesn't, work with that person, bounce on to someone else, or maybe the therapy thing and the chatting, the counselling, whatever you want to call it, isn't for you. But give it a go, because it's for me it certainly helped. And I'll leave I know you're all scattered. I'm scattered across the UK, across the bloody world. But I'll put this guy's like details. He does do like remote sessions as well. For me, I wanted to do like face to face. I've kind of done enough freaking Zoom and WebEx and all that, Teams and all that crap at work. And there's something like this. I thought, you need to. Geography's on my side. It's only like 15 minutes down the road to do that. But yeah, look after yourself, guys, is the message. And apologies, that wasn't very retro, was it? So that was that piece. Let's lift the positivity. So what have I been up to? Went to an absolutely awesome film festival, like horror film festival, really like culture, a bit of sci-fi in there as well. It's that culture because it wasn't just films. There was like some comic bits, some illustrators. There was a few forms of media, TV as well. And so I went out, visited a friend in Spain, not far from Alicante in Murcia. He lives just outside of there, but I think it's the 13th year that they've been running this horror festival. And my mate is a translator. Runs first and foremost, he runs like a language school, like English guy. I went to school with him, went to uni with him, and he met an awesome Spaniard. Lovely Spanish lady. So he moved to her hometown and set up a language school teaching mainly like English. So he's doing really well, and he loves similar stuff to what I'm into, music and films and all that stuff. Perhaps similar age, and growing up we were kind of exchanging thoughts on good bad films and good bad albums and all that jazz. So he'd been going to this festival, and he said, look, can I help with translating? Because naively I thought it was just like Spanish creators, but it's not. It's a bit of a more of an international offering. So people from from France, from England, South Africa, the States, etc. And it was awesome. So I got to kind of travel around with him. He was sitting on the panel translating for these folks, but came across some amazing people, and it's very different from like London, something like that. Perhaps the scale was it wasn't massive, but it was still of a fair size. But in terms of like security and bits, there wasn't really any of that. You were just chatting with people, and we had a few interesting lunches and dinners, and very, very late night, early mornings with random directors and stuff like that. So it was really, really cool. So I need to do a dedicated video on that. So it's a sombre festival. I probably bored and flooded anyone on my Instagram page about that. So that was cool. And then on the kind of film note, I've recently, for the last couple of weeks, put out a further video of all the latest DVDs I bought. So I'm still having a proper physical media kick on that, and in fact I'm starting to get some of the old CDs and albums. So my wife fucking hates me of all the stuff around the house, but in order to save a bit of space, I did follow some advice from a great newish channel. I say newish, probably it's 1 year anniversary, but he's doing really, really well. The Sandscratcher, fantastic guy, tells an awesome story about stuff, and covers all sorts of things around life and living life, but some of them involve practicalities and things. So basically I've got, blabbering a bit, like a huge, bigger than it's out of the shop basically, a big long box, or a big plastic tub basically, but the perfect size to fit in DVDs, Blu-rays. But for the DVDs, I've taken the plastic cases out, and I've got some covers for the inlays, so plastic cover for the inlays, and then those kind of like paper envelopes to put the discs in, so they're protected, and it's just saved me like a shitload of space. Actually, that's quite decent, and I've got an app linked to it as well. It's all like geeky A to Z, apart from the kids' movies and some of the bits there on the right. They're all self-contained and independent. But and I've got this app, so I can basically work out what I want to watch and find it quite easily. So I got apart from some Blu-rays, some non children movie Blu-ray related stuff, so Blu-ray films and some 4K stuff, and my Arrow collection, which I'm keeping in its nice kind of, and in their nice boxes. I've got that kind of separate, but most of the other stuff is in this box, which so it's tucked by the sofa, so I've saved a shitload of space. Should probably mean more films and more small stuff to get. It's bad. So that's pretty cool. So I'll leave details to the Sandscratcher channel. Go and check him out. And I think I've got about 300, not like some people got thousands, about 300 DVDs or films, because that includes the Blu-ray, but 4K stuff, which for me is a fair bit. I think probably about 40 of them are like TV TV shows, TV series, but the rest of them are like films, mainly, not all, but mainly 80s, 90s. Absolutely loving some cheesy like Nicolas Cage stuff recently. Been watching like a bit of Con Air. Was it Wild at Heart? That's been good. I've been working my way through the Alien series as well in anticipation for the new one coming out. So that was quite cool. I even boycotted. My son chose to see Kung Fu Panda 4 over Ghostbusters, the new Ghostbusters, which I didn't mind because it seems like it's got a real friggin' hammering. But maybe not. I mean, yeah, I need to make my own mind up with such things. But when it's like the majority of people are hammering the shit out of this film, it doesn't really motivate you to go and spend, on my cinema anyway, it's about, I'm not even in bloody London, about 14-15 quid to see a film. With my sons it's like 30, and even if we scrimp it and go to Tesco's, it's still, for pick a mix and bits like that, it's still like a chunk of cash. Video gaming, Christ, that was maybe the origins of this channel, wasn't it? So yeah, video gaming. I've got a pickups video for Get Off My Arse. I just need to get that kind of finished and edited. I'll get that out probably this weekend, maybe Easter Monday, a couple of days time. But yeah, some good stuff in there. Got new handheld from Japan, a bit of a Game Boy Link. You can kind of get your detective caps on and work out what I mean by that, and a few games for there. Of course, there's some Game Boy stuff. I think there's some toys in there from memory, and a few other bits. So enjoy that. And I have got through AliExpress. I'll probably cover it again in the future. Be very vague, aren't I? But a new console. I've got one of these already in a bit of a different form, but it's the AV is just a bit up the creek. I probably need to get it to Mrs. Bear, the retro repair bear, to take a look at. But she's already got a couple of my bits. And it's a bit of a weighty job, but I don't know if that goes. I'll be gutted because I've got quite a few pricey games with this system. So I've got a backup. If it's good, then it's going to be the front runner, and then I'll put my current one. I'll ideally get it mended, tidied up, and then securely store that away. So yeah, we'll have a pickups video soon. YouTube shoutouts took me friggin' ages, but eventually yesterday I had a bit of time in the evening, so I did like my second shoutouts video. Again, another 10 fantastic channels. Don't be offended if you're not in the first 2. It's not, there's no fucking priority or anything like that. I watch a lot of YouTube more than anything else. If we subscribe to an incredible amount of channels, there's no priority in it. Absolutely not. If anything, I've tried to vary it so that it's not just, say, like UK or not just the US. It's not just YouTubers. It's not just YouTubers with loads of subscribers, and I've just tried to balance it to make it hopefully a bit more interesting. So yeah, don't be offended on that, and I'll try and I will do some further shout out vids, because I think that's what it's all about. And again, I'd encourage folks to continue doing that, because the YouTube, as always, it's fucking impossible to find a smallish channel. It just points you to the Jesuses and the mad little pixels of this world, which not everyone's cup of tea, or they might already be subscribed to them and they just want to watch something else. And then in terms of channels, we have the mighty return of Scotty, the marathon gamer. So he is now back, which is amazing. So I had a little break. He's back with his last video is just friggin' hilarious. So worth checking that out. Again, if I remember, I'll tag him below. But yeah, he's a funny guy, really funny guy. I'll hopefully be doing a few events with him during the year. And talking of events, a bit bittersweet really. I was looking at Revival and trying to get to that, but I think it's on the Saturday night. I think it's Saturday. I'm at the O2. I've got this like Weezer, Smashing Pumpkins, which are genuinely on my list of bands I've always wanted to see. Loved them, since early doors. So yeah, dates wise, I'm not a particular social animal by any means, but it clashes with that. So I think it could be a bit of a bugger to try and fold both in together. But never say never. But it's not looking particularly likely. The one I am going to, and I have got tickets for, is the Nottingham Video Games Expo. So again, there are a few other people going to that. There's an early bird ticket and link, which I think expires Easter Monday. Not entirely sure what time Easter Monday. But I think it's about 15% off, and the tickets are fairly reasonable anyway. But just going to do the Saturday, and a bit of might be a bit of a long drive there and back, but just just get stuck into that. So looking forward to that. And so yeah, I think videos. So hopefully videos soon on maybe the pickups, the Sombra Festival, some shout-outs. And yeah, I don't want to get too methodical with my YouTube diary release calendar, because that takes it just takes the fucking zazz and the ziz out of it. I don't want it turning into like a work thing. So I think just releasing stuff on an appropriate frequency to a lovely audience of individuals, that'll keep me happy for sure. And yeah, I love you and leave you. Get back to my coffee and enjoy your Easter weekend. Cheers.